Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about none other than the new Teepublic account fees. The reason why I'm even bringing this up is because just a few days ago, it's actually pretty funny, just a few days ago, there were Redbubble account fees that had been emerged. And somebody in the comments said that they emailed Teepublic and asked them, are they going to introduce these similar account fees to Teepublic's platform? And they said that their reply was, no, not in the near future, nothing we know about. And guess what? Just a few days later, here we are receiving an email from Teepublic stating there are new account fees. So, honestly, at this point, it doesn't surprise me. Okay, this whole thing started to change when Etsy continued to change their account fees. Then you had Society 6. Then you had maybe there's a platform in the middle that I'm not remembering. But then you had Redbubble, which I told you is a mammoth of a platform to do this, to implement some sort of fee. And now you have Teepublic. Now, FYI, for everybody who doesn't know, Redbubble acquired Teepublic many years ago. I can't exactly remember the exact date, but many years ago. So effectively, they're owned by the same entity. All right. Now, the thing that's pretty hilarious is that it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is going to happen. And I think people become surprised now at what's happening. And the reality is the economy is bad. And you might not feel it on a large scale, meaning you might not be losing hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, but these companies are. And they're not making as much money as they once would. Now, I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm just simply saying what's going on. So as a business and as a company, you have two ways that you're going to essentially make money. You can either cut costs or you can make more sales. Well, for Redbubble and Teepublic, making more sales is not an easy option. You can't just press a button and make it happen, especially when it's millions and millions of dollars. You could spend more on ads and all that kind of stuff, but if the ROI is not there, then it's not there. So it's not easy to just produce new sources of income, especially with a business the size of a company that of Redbubble's, etc. Now, obviously, there's a lot of new innovative things that they could implement, add new products, things like that, which I'll be happy to talk about in the future. But that's not what's happening here. They decided to go the other end of the spectrum, which is cut costs. And the way that they cut costs is they charge their sellers more. That's exactly what they're doing. So let's go ahead and read this email that has just been released by Teepublic just an hour ago. It says, "Dear Teepublic artist, we know you're tired of emails like this by now, but we need to announce some new changes we're making to adapt to the rising costs of hosting and facilitating Teepublic Marketplace." So I want to be clear, guys. Now they've admitted it. They've admitted that the rising costs of hosting and facilitating the marketplace. Guys, I've been saying this from day one, is that the biggest expense for Redbubble, Teepublic, and all the other print-on-demand platforms is one thing, and that's server cost. It's server cost. That's the biggest problem. It's not, to be honest, their liabilities and their legalities of copycats and people like that. No, it's server costs. Because what you have millions of people uploading 10s, 20, 30, 100, 200 thousands of designs, and those designs don't get money right away, and they could take months to get sales. And guess what? That cost is hosting. I've said this before, which is essentially server cost. You need databases, you need servers to save all this information, people's accounts, etc. Now, there's easy fixes to that, but regardless, let's go ahead and continue reading. It says, "For years, we've been shouldering increased costs without passing them to artists." Basically saying that, we've been paying up for artists. "But beginning of May 8th, 2023, Teepublic must increase our existing service fee, a fixed fee charged to artists for each sale they make through our marketplace, which will result in reduced artist earnings for selected products." The service fee increases will depend on your account category, which brings us to another announcement: Artisan and Apprentice accounts. These categories have always existed on Teepublic, but now we're publicly sharing them. They're not based on the amount of sales an account generates. What's the difference between an artist and apprentice account? See, this is what I don't like. This is where it starts. When you don't base it based on the sales an account generates. So as an account, like for example, I'll give you examples, guys. An account that generates $4,000, $3,000 a month on Redbubble. Those accounts are going to be penalized, aka my accounts, let's say, will be penalized, right, on Redbubble because they're not this premium or whatever kind of ranking. And the ranking is determined by somebody on their platform that's being reviewed once a quarter or once a period or whenever the date that they choose it to be. And you as a seller cannot really choose what your ranking is. I know there's going to be YouTube guides of people out there saying, this is how you get a premium account, or this is how you get a pro account on Redbubble, or this is how you get an artisan account on Teepublic. But at the end of the day, you can't control that. There's nothing you can do, right? It's only these people either signing off on the dotted line on you or not. You know, it's up to their choice. If it was a statistical or analytical kind of benchmark that says you need to do X, Y, and Z to get that high-level account, then I think everybody would appreciate it more. It's just when people don't, come out and say these things. But let's go ahead and continue. All right, it says here, what is the difference between artisan and apprentice accounts? An artisan account. These accounts represent artists who design unique products, most likely to interest their customers browsing the Teepublic marketplace. They may include everyone from top sellers to brand new signups and just starting out. The service fee increase will be discontinued for artisans, thus resulting in a smaller reduction in earnings. If you're reading this email, you are an artisan account. So great. So I am an artisan account. You guys are listening to this now, and I'm an artisan account. Here, let's go ahead and continue. It says apprentice accounts. These accounts represent artists who are less discerning about the products they design, which are less likely to interest their customers browsing the Teepublic marketplace. For example, they may be spamming Teepublic at high volumes, exploring more automated content like vector packs or clip art, or may have uploaded enough art to differentiate themselves from these type of creators, or may have not uploaded enough art to differentiate themselves from these types of creators. Teepublic's service fee will be higher for these accounts because of additional costs of their hosting designs. Well, let's see what those costs actually are. It says, how will the service fee increase affect artist earnings? Artisan earnings. Beginning of May 8th, 2023, artisans will earn $4 on full price, $2 on discounted sales of apparel and selected home goods. These align with the earnings of the products earnings for classic t-shirts, the number one product sold by artists, which were already $4/$2. Obviously, it depends on the product, but there you go. The impact of this change will be relatively small for most artisans. Based on the 2022 sales, the average artisan would have seen a loss of only $6 per month. Apprentice earnings. Beginning of June 1st, 2023, apprentice accounts will earn $3 on full price, $1 for discounted sales, which, by the way, guys, is in if you're selling the product for $4 and you're receiving $3, right? Or excuse me, it was $4 and now you're getting $3. That's a 25% cut. That's a 25% fee. All right. And it says here on full price, $1 for discounted sales. So for discounted, instead of receiving $2, you're receiving $1. So that's 50% fee. All right. Sales, apparel, and selected home goods. Until then, they will have small service fee as an artisan starting May 8th, 2023. That's not a small fee. In the world of percentages, that's a very large fee. Imagine if somebody took half of your money or 25% of your money. That's like the mafia. Imagine you had a storefront of like a bakery, for example, and they said every month you got to give us 50% or 25%. That's nuts. That's crazy. Anyways, we know this may come as disappointing news, and we're truly sorry. We're aware that you are also experiencing the many increased costs of today's world. Please trust me that this wasn't a hasty decision, and we explored many avenues before determining this, as this is the best path forward. Honestly, guys, there is a solution, and I think if hosting costs were a real big thing, right? I think many sellers would be okay with paying an upfront fee depending on how many designs they have. So, for example, if I have 50,000 designs on Redbubble, let's just say, right? I should be able to pay a fee for my 50,000 designs that are up there, right? A reasonable fee. And this fee should be a monthly fee, in my opinion, before I even launch or create, before I even continue designing for that month, right? And I should be able to pay that fee. Instead of taking 35%, 40%, sometimes 20%, sometimes a tenth, whatever it is, of my whole entire account, my whole entire sales. And the same thing with Teepublic, right? If you're a regular artist, right? If you're a apprentice, as they say, you're getting either a 25 to 50% fee on what you sell. That fee, I feel, instead of charging people half of what they earn, what if a guy earns $500 that month or $1,000? So that means anywhere from $250 to $500 off that $1,000 is being taken out. That's a big chunk. So instead of that, why not charge a person a fee, a hosting fee, before that happens? So instead of them losing $250 or $500, right? Charge them $5, $10, $20 for their hosting for the amount of designs that they have, right? And that would be more realistic, and then it would be more of a fair exchange. But this is not a fair exchange. This is, let me take as much money as I possibly can from you at the moment. And guys, if you think that this is, if the print-on-demand world is going to get better in terms of the marketplace community, we're talking about the marketplaces, the Redbubbles, the Teepublics, the Merch by Amazons, all these things. If you think they're going to get better, you're fooling yourself. The economy is not getting better. There are more issues. Inflation is increasing. People's pay are not increasing, right? And because of that, their spending is decreasing. In fact, advertising as a whole has decreased over 50% in like the last 8 months since this whole, the whole inflation thing been going on. So what I'm here to say is that you have to take power into your own hands. I mean, it's inevitable that this stuff is going to happen, and it's going to get worse. Mark my words. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. At the end of the day, like I said, I wasn't surprised when I saw this. This is just part of the game, I guess you could say. There's not much you could say in a situation like this. The only thing that I could say is diversify. That is the best thing you could possibly do. Other than having your art on multiple platforms, have your art on your own website. Figure out what it takes to build a website and slowly build it. On my other channel, I'm building blogs and I'm showing people how to do that step by step, taking it slow. And I'm showing an actual small website that I'm building with zero traffic, right? Guys can check it out. It's called Cash Cow Niche Site Mastery, something like that. I forgot what it's called. Or Niche Site Mastery. I think that's what it's called. I can't even believe I don't remember my own channel name, but I changed it recently, and that's why I could show it here. But let's see here. Niche Site Mastery. I probably shouldn't even shout this out because at the end of the day, the people that want to see it will see it. But here it is. Niche Site Cash Cow Mastery, which is basically showing you how to build a website from scratch. So at the end of the day, guys, this doesn't surprise me. Okay, if Redbubble, as like I said, a huge company, did one of these price fee hikes, whatever you want to call them, you're gonna have all the other companies follow suit. Just in the beginning of this year, there was a company called Visual that I used, and they had to shut down because of how expensive the hosting fees were. They just weren't producing enough income. And something that I thought in my head was, as time goes on, businesses get better, not worse. And I'm wrong. Businesses don't always get better. They do get worse at some times, and certain businesses do get worse. And for the print-on-demand world, it's getting worse. It's not getting better. The golden age for print-on-demand is gone, in my opinion. Now, you can create a golden age in your life by taking power into your own hands, and that's a completely different circumstance and different situation. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think. Like I said, you guys know what I think. I'm not surprised. But that's all I got to say for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.